Hello everyone, welcome to another season of the Delta T Racing Division 2 Championship. Today we are having our pre-season race here at the Portugal circuit. 17 drivers on the grid today, with having our current championship leader Donkey Dan really wanting to defend his title. But we have some new faces on the grid with Ibany, also called Ben, who has been driven in Division 1 last season. So did DTR Brent, but he's not attending this pre-season race, but he's also one of the title contenders. We also are going to experiment a sprint quali after the short qualifying session. This sprint quali will be used to determine the grid for the 50% race, but it's really important to have your short quali as well, because it's going to be very important to put your car as much in front on the grid as you can. So let's go through the teams this season. Let's pick up the currently in the Alfa Romeo team, who have Swifty Ryan, a new face for me, and Critical Damage, also a really new face for me as well. In the AlphaTauri team we have Fakey 200 and It's Only Key G. A really strong team based on that race consistency. I've known Fakey for his race consistency last season, so good luck to the AlphaTauri team. In the Alpine we have the same team as last season. They finished in P2 in the constructor standings. Will they have a go on the constructors this season? Of course they have to face the winners Tankade and Donkey Dan in the Williams. In the Aston Martin team we have D. Stavrolis and Ibany, so really strong team as well. So definitely aiming for a top 3 position in the constructors as well. Michael Tipp and Sammy Jensen are partnering up in the Ferrari. Mr. D not attending, and TTV Seven Yanka is in the Haas team. Platmaster and Cristro are in the McLarens. Ticket and Brand, a really strong team, are in the Mercedes. Lancia and Quina, a Dutch Red Bull team, really strong team as well. And the Williams, Donkey Dan and Tankade. So we're definitely hyping up for the upcoming season, where we will see a lot of battles on track. So let's see, Fakey is going to be the first one to set a lap time, a 17.2 for him, so not a bad lap to be fair, as his banker. One of the Ferraris, Sammy Jensen, is just starting his hot lap. One of the McLarens is also finishing his flying lap, and Ticket as well. So what can the other AlphaTauri do? It's Only Key G. He's going to cross the line with a 1:18.5, 1.2 seconds away from his teammate. And Felix is in P2, reserving in the Haas team. And Ben is also doing a very terrific job. And Lancey goes quickest with a 1:16.8. So a really quick time from Lancey in P1. So what can his teammate Quina do? And Quina goes third fastest, 4 tenths away from his teammate. So really quick time, everyone setting their first laps at the moment. Donkey Dan, the previous championship winner, into P2, 32 thousandths away from the time of Lancey. So a really quick time from him as well. And what can Platmaster do? Platmaster is aborting his lap, and Tankade goes third fastest with a 1:17.0. So good lap from him as well. Swifty is the only driver on the medium, so I'm not sure why he's taking that gamble, because we only having a 5 lap session after this one. So I think it's smarter to run your qualifying pace on the softs. And Ticket is just starting his hot lap. So let's stay on board with the Mercedes driver, who had a really strong season in season 2 in the Mercedes this season. Last season he was in the Alfa Romeo, so hopefully this car will bring him some luck. A really strong team up with Brandt, so definitely can go for the constructors this season. But they have to face the Williams team of Donkedan and Tankade. Oh, he runs wide and picks up an invalidation. So that's unfortunate for Ticket. And Owen just starting his hot lap. So let's see who is currently on a flying lap. The teammate of Owen, Famrel Price. So let's stay on board with him. He had some good races last season, so I'm expecting a lot from this guy. Famrel Price is going through sector 3 now. 52.2 in sector 2, so that's not a bad sector time actually. He is early on the throttle and now is preparing himself for the run on the main straight. Famrel Price goes to a 17.23. 5/10 away, so the grid is really close, and that is exciting for the upcoming season with such a close grid. So let's head back to the teammate of Owen. He is going to cross the line now with a 1:17.5, 7/10 away from the top of the field, and that's only good for P11. So that means Lancey has put himself a great lap in, and Christo is aborting his hot lap, so he will probably be diving into the pits. It's getting dark and dark, so hopefully there will not be any rain incoming for the drivers who haven't got their time. But look at Swifty Brian, he did only 8/10 away from the top on the medium, so that's very exciting for him to go for a soft run in the next lap. And Quistro is going for his second run on those tires. Let's see where he can end up. He's driving into the McLaren. Let's see, he's taking it cautious but early on the throttle. And let's switch back to his driver view. Swifty Ryan is putting a 22.0 in sector 1. What can he do? It's his first lap time. He haven't set a lap yet. A really tough part of the circuit is this one, to get your throttle on the right moment. So Christo is still keeping it within the track limits and sets a purple sector 2. Oh, he runs wide and gets an invalidation. Oh no, Christo will be very unhappy about that. So let's switch back to current provisional pole sitter is Lancey. And will Fakey improve? Yes, Fakey will improve. 2 laps on those tires, and that puts himself into P3 for now. We all know that you can do some laps on those tires because you only have a 5-lapper to go after this one, and you have a free tire choice in the 50% race. Lancey, is he improving in sector 2? Let's have a look. He's almost ending it. Runs wide. Ibany is going to a 16.8 and only 2 thousandths quicker than Lancey. But is Lancey going quicker and quicker? That's the question for here. Lancey pulling himself on the main straight. Sammy Jensen 3. That's a really... Lancey is going to cross the line with a 1:16.7 and he goes even quicker. He improves by 28 thousandths of a second, so he moves himself up to provisional pole. And Donkey Don is also starting his hot lap. He sets a purple sector 1. So it's looking good for Donkey, the championship winner last season. What can Donkey do? He's looking very good out of that corner. Donkey Don is now going to his... And he's 3/10 up on his usual time, and that's good for provisional pole. So Donkey needs to nail that last sector to get himself into the top spot for the sprint quali race. He is improving a lot. So let's see, Donkey Don, where can he end up? Can he go for a 1:16.5 or maybe a 1:16.4? Let's see. Donkey Don is crossing the line now with a 1:16.4, and what an amazing lap, 3/10 away from the time of Lancy. So Donkey has set an amazing lap. I'm not sure why this guy is even in Division 2. He's really quick. Donkey on provisional pole position. And what will his teammate do? He has invalidated his lap. So he will be starting a second run on those tires. Felix is not on a flying lap. It's only Key G. Plapmaster goes second now, 3/10 away. So a good lap time from Plap. And it's only Key G runs a little wide in the AlphaTauri, currently sitting in P9. Will he make an improvement for himself? Or will he just... I don't think he will. He's already 1:13 at the moment, so he will probably dive into the pits, and yes he is. And let's see, Femrod, will he improve? 4/10 up on his usual time, and Femrod goes quicker. 3.5 up on his usual time, and that moves himself up to P6 at the moment. So a good lap from him. Let's see, Ticket, his first lap. What can Ticket do? Ticket, one of the quickest drivers of this division. What can Ticket do? A Ticket goes to a 17.1, and that's only good for P11. So he definitely wants to improve himself in those 5-lapper sprint quali. And Quina has invalidated his lap time. And one of the McLarens is on an out lap. And Owen is on a flying lap. So let's stay on board with the other Alpine driver. Owen currently sitting in P13. Will he get a good improvement? Owen is going to cross the line with a 17.1 and 6/10 away from the top, and puts himself into P10. So still the Alpines are currently sitting in P6 and 10, so they will be having a quite challenge for themselves in the sprint quali. And as you have not know actually is that the sprint quali will determine the grid for the 50% race. So the short quali is also very important to put yourself in front of, at the front of the grid. And let's see, Quistro is on his first lap at the moment, a 22.1 in sector 1, and we have seen 21s already, so he's already backing off. He was not happy about his sector 1 pace, so he decided to back off on his flying lap. So he will be starting and preparing himself for another one. Well, the others, Fakey is now going for his flying lap, so let's stay on board with Fakey, currently in P5. He put on some fresh soft tires. Let's see if he can improve in sector 1. Really attacking those corners nicely, picking up the DRS right now, and he's currently having a 22.0, and he is 42 up on his usual time. Let's see if he can nail one of the tricky spots of the circuit. Oh, and what I call tricky part of the circuit. Really hard to get your throttle right there. So Fakey is backing off on his usual lap now, so he will be going for another one. And who is someone else on a flying lap? I think it's Swifty Ryan. Let's see Swifty Ryan on his debut, in currently sitting in P15. And the Alfa Romeos are not looking that good in pre-season so far, but let's see if they can make up some positions at the end of this qualifying session. He's currently not improving, so he will be going for another lap, I may assume. And let's see who will be another driver to go on a flying lap. It's only Kiji. He's not improving on his time in sector 2. Will he have a good last sector? Or he's taking it really wide there. Let's see. Oh, it's only Kiji. Is he improving? No, he's not improving. Only 2 tenths down on his previous time. And Quina is currently up on his time. But let's see him board with Fakey. Fakey lost it. And Cristro puts himself into P5 in the McLaren. So the McLaren team is looking very strong so far. A very good lap from Cristro on that second lap on the same tire. Let's head back to one of the other drivers. I think it's Felix, but Felix has invalidated his lap time. And one of the Alpines is Femrod, but Femrod is not going to continue on his lap. And Tankade is going to cross the line now. Let's see, Tankade currently sitting in P8. Can he have a good improvement? One of the quickest drivers as well, 16.7, and that puts himself into P4. And followed by Quina, who is going to cross the line as well. He will be starting another lap. And one of the other drivers, one of the Alfa Romeos, are on their out laps. Right behind we have Owen as well on their out lap. So let's see who will be one of the AlphaTauris. It's only Kiji is backing off into the pits. And Ben is just starting his hot lap as well. And Ticket is going 2 tenths quicker in sector 2. Will he have a good last sector to put himself at least in the top 10 qualifying? And yes, he goes 3rd fastest now with a 1:67. So that's a really good lap from Ticket. And it will be his last as well. So qualifying has been done. And Blackmaster was on a 16.7, and one of the Haas drivers, it's Felix, will be crossing the line, and he has finished his qualifying as well. Let's see, a lot of drivers are coming in now. One of the Alfa Romeos maybe. It's critical damage into the last corner, picking up the main straight now. What can critical damage do on his debut? Swifty Ryan not managed to get himself into the top 10, and so isn't critical damage. So what can Ibany do? Ben on a flying lap as well, really putting the throttle really early, going for a flying lap. He is currently sitting in P6, only 3.5 tenths away from the top of the field. What can Ben do? Ben is going to P2, 2 tenths away from Donkey. So a really strong lap, and Ticket is not improving. And Cristro goes even quicker than Ben and puts himself into P2. 4 laps on those tires. So he will be definitely struggling at the start compared to the other drivers who have set their times on a 1 lap or maybe 2 lap old softs. So this was our qualifying session of today, and look how close it is from P1 to P15 within 8 tenths of a second. Unfortunately for critical damage and Swifty Ryan, they have a really tough job to do, losing like full tenths to the rest of the next driver in P14. So the Alfa Romeos are really at the back. Owen has a 5 grid penalty for the sprint qualifying, but Donkey in first, of course, taking his pole and defending his title this season. So we're making ourselves up for a really nice sprint qualifying race. Alright, it's going to be dry in the 5-lap qualifying. So what are your predictions for these 5 lappers? Who is going to win it? Who is the fastest on those in this small sprint race? It will be very important to get your car as further up the grid as you can, because it will be your starting position. Your finishing position in this qualifying will be your starting position. So no formation lap, so we go instant racing. So we're almost going with 5 red lights going out now, and we're on our way for the DTR pre-season race at Portugal in the sprint qualifying, with Donkey Down having a crazy start. Ibany already on the outside of Quistro, but he needs to back off, and the McLaren of Quistro keeps in second, and Ibany is already under pressure of Flatmaster. Ibany runs a little bit wide, but Flatmaster gets a good run out of that corner, and now will get a bad exit. Will he put his car on the inside line? No, Ben has defended that really well. And ticket into P5, Lancy 6, Famro Pry in 7, 10k to P8. Really bad start from 10k there. Let's have a look at the position changes. 10k losing 1 position. Sammy Jansen losing 1 position, Quina winning 3 positions, and Swifty Ryan winning 4 positions. So the Alfa Romeo have listened. Oh, there's damage from Quina. Damage from Quina there at the back of Sammy Jansen. Left front wing has been damaged. So that's really unfortunate for Quina. And that will allow Swifty Ryan to go on the inside. And now looking for a move on the outside. Oh! A little bit of wheel banging, but Swifty Ryan keeps himself on track. And that is really unfortunate for Quina, because he took damage. And let's head back to the top of the field with Ban into P3, Quistro in P2, and Donkey in P1. Donkey really defending his championship win from last season. And who is really close on track? Right behind we have Tankate really putting the pressure on Famrod Pry. And Famrod indeed is putting the pressure on Lancy. And yeah, those 5 lappers is, with this such a close grid, it's really hard to overtake, especially in some 5 lappers. And Swifty Ryan is really improving on his race pace. He won 5 positions. And for all your information, the drivers will have a free tire choice for the main race. So let's head back to some close racing. The closest gap on track is between Lancy and Ticket. Will Lancy be able to close the gap on him? And the DRS has been enabled, so Quistro is putting himself on a really good job. So let's stay on board with the battle for P1. Donkey Dan is creating himself a gap, 7 tenths now. But the DRS has been enabled, so will Quistro get an opportunity to make a move on the main straight? Cristro is looking very quick. His back end car is already flashing his red light, so he is really low on that ERS deployment. But will we have enough for the main straight? He's within 6 tenths. He needs to be a little closer to have an opportunity to make the move. He runs wide, 8 tenths of a second now, and that will not be close enough to make a move for Cristro. Heading into lap 4 of the sprint qualifying. Let's have a look. Lancey is going side by side with Ticket into turn 1, and Lancey gets the move done even before the corner, going side by side, and Lancey gets the move done and moves himself up to P5. So Lancey is doing a really good job to manage his race so far, making up 1 position. Femrod moving up himself in 2 positions. Swifty Ryan in the top 10, moving up 6 positions. Really good job from the Alfa Romeo driver. And let's stay on board with the driver Lancey at this stage. Ticket is close behind as well. Lancey is closing in to Platmaster. But will he be close enough for another move? We will run into the last lap. So no mistakes can be made into the last lap. Donkey Dan is just passing the start finish line. So we are preparing ourselves for a last lap in this sprint qualifying. And Cristro is getting overtaken by Ben. So Ben moves himself up to P2. So that's a P2 stop position for him. And Quinn now has a 3-second type, and it doesn't any matter because he is at the back end of this race. Can Cristro go for... Oh, Sammy has DNF. No, Sammy is out of this sprint qualifying, so he will be starting at the back, unfortunately for him. But let's head back to some battles. Lancey is closing in 2 tenths away from Platmaster. Will he be able to get an overtake done to move himself into P4 on the starting grid? Platmaster is closing into his teammate as well, but Lancey's going to have a look on the inside line. Lancey on the outside, taking different lines compared to Platmaster. Will we have a good exit? And Lancey runs wide but gets a good exit. And will this be an overtake for Lancey? Running all of his ERS, going side by side. Will Lancey get the move done? No! 51 thousandths away, but Donkey will take pole position for the main race. Ben into P2, Cristro into P3, Platmaster in 4, Lancey in 5, Ticket in 6, Famrod in 7, Tankade only P8. Swifty Ryan made up 7 positions, which is very, very amazing for the Alfa Romeo. It's only Kiji in P10, finishes up top 10. Felix 7, Smetanka in 12, Owen in 13, critical damage in 14, Fakey in 15, Quina will be 16, and Sammy will be in 17. Going to take a picture. Fakey has set the fastest lap and with a 17.5, but he made a pit stop. So, but Lancey did a 17.6 on his used tires, which is a very good lap from him. So really curious what he can do in those, in the main race. He won 1 position, but all eyes are on Donkey and Ben, who are in P1 and P2. Locking up the front row. Welcome everyone to the 50% race and the main race of this pre-season race today, with Donkey Dan starting on pole with Ben on the front row as well. We're going to have hell of a battle between those two drivers. They're really close based on pace, but at the end, which tires are all the drivers choosing? All the drivers have a free tire choice at the start of this race, so it will be very interesting to see which driver choose which strategy. And at the second row we have Cristro and Platmaster. Both McLarens are having an amazing race so far. In the third row we have Lancy and Ticket in P5 and P6. Lancy has made the move on Ticket in sprint qualifying, so a really terrific job from Lancy as well. I'm expecting a lot from him in the race. So let's head back to the circuit and shit. And I think we're just going to race. That's a small mistake by me, unfortunately, to have no formation lap. That's a mistake. I'm sorry for that. So we are still racing with Blackmaster and still Ben in P2, Lancy in P5, and the inside of the Alpine drivers, and really big banging on the track there. And Tankgate moves himself up to P8. And look at some drivers are spinning around. Fakey and Owen having a moment out of track now, and that's unfortunate for Fakey and Owen. But no changes for them as it stands. But Donkey still in the lead. Benny is really closing into him in P2, 6 tenths away. 5 tenths now. Really good exit from Ben. So it's really important to have your tire temperatures on the right situation. And Donkey sets the fastest lap. Of course he is, but he needs to fend from Ibany into turn 1. And Ben is closing in, and he's probably waiting for the DRS to be activated. And let's head back to some other battles on track. Still Blackmaster and Quistro are still really close. Blackmaster is closing into the top of the field as well. Tankgate and It's Only KG are switching positions, but It's Only KG is really putting the pressure on Tankgate. Tankgate on the mediums. Let's have a look at the tire choices from all the drivers. Ticket has started on the mediums, Femrod as well, and Tankgate has started on those mediums as well. They are definitely taking a long stint on these tires compared to the front runners. But still, It's Only KG is not able to make a move. Let's head back to the front runners. Well, Ibany is still within the DRS. The DRS has been enabled this lap. So let's have a look if Ben can close the grid. And Blackmaster is also really close behind. And in sector 1 we have someone spinning around, and it's one of the AlphaTauris, but no big damage for Fakey there. Blackmaster is looking really strong on his race pace as it stands, and so is Quistro. And the first driver has put himself a penalty, and 2 drivers now, Ticket and Sammy, picking up a 3-second time penalty already in lap 3, so that's really early. And Donkey still creating himself a small gap to Ben. Ben is in P2, really getting under pressure from Blackmaster, who has a really good run out of that corner. Will Blackmaster be able to get the overtake done? Picking up the DRS right now. Let's head back to Blackmaster's POV. But the straight line speed is not what he wants. And Ben is closing into Donkey. So we have a 3-way battle for the lead, and Blackmaster runs a little wide. Definitely picked up a warning for that. And Blackmaster gets a good run again. Can go early on the throttle here, taking wider lines compared to Ibany. And Quistro is losing a small amount of pace, and Lancy gets closer to Quistro. Quistro is now outside the DRS to his teammate, so he needs to pick up his pace to stay within the DRS. Really hard to overtake here on this track if you are facing the driver in front, picking up the DRS. Look at Ben, he is closing into Donkey. 2 tenths away, 3 tenths away now. Will Donkey get a good exit? Let's see if Ben can have a good exit here. Ben is 4 tenths away, so he will be close enough for an opportunity here. 4 tenths to Donkey. Will he use his ERS? He is closing in. Will this be an opportunity for Ben to get the overtake done? 2 tenths, 110 now. Will he goes for the inside? No, he's not close enough. So Donkey is just calculating this really well. And Blackmaster is closing in as well. Lancy has made the move on Cristro, by the way. So Lancy moves up to P4. And Lancy's making his way up to the top 3 now. Lancy's looking very strong. It's also very hard to follow every battle on track. So let's go to Felix. It's only KG going side by side. And Felix has made the move stick on It's Only KG for P9. Really interesting to see. Those drivers are on the softs, and the 3 drivers in front of him are on the mediums, still sticking with them. And I think after 6-7 laps those mediums will definitely come alive. And look at It's Only KG looking for an inside move, but he will not be able to make the move on Felix. But he's still 110 away, gets a good run, and he's using all of his ERS probably, because he's really close. And look at the other Haas. The other Haas is right behind as well. Can we have a 3 wide here? I don't think we can. It's Only KG is sticking behind. And let's have a look. Ibany is 110 away. Will he go for an overtake in turn 4? No overtake from Ben. And look at the top 5, guys. It's so close. We have a great battle at the front. We can definitely not miss it. And Ben is still within 3 tenths of a second. Tankade moves up to P7 on the mediums. He overtook Van Rob Pride, but let's switch back to Ben and Donkey Don and Platmaster. Look at how close they are. And this will be a good opportunity for Ben. He has a good exit here. And 3 tenths now to Donkey. So this will be the moment for the overtake for Ben. 3 tenths away. And he is now gaining and gaining. And he can definitely have a go on the inside of Donkey into turn 1. And Donkey is not defending at all. So Ben moves up to the lead. And Donkey will be in second. Now under pressure of Blackmaster. And a really strong grid, we can assume, for this season, with Ben, DTR Brand, Donkey, maybe even Plap and Lancy joining as well, because I know Lancy from my own league and he is just getting quicker and quicker race after race. So really looking forward to see him battling at the front this season. Hopefully Ticket can moves himself up as well. He just didn't win the championship last season. He was close though, but really looking forward to see him racing at the top spots as well. So we have like 6-7 drivers who are definitely in competition to get the championship in an overall season. And Ben gets the fastest lap and is now stretching away from Donkey Down, who is 8 tenths behind. So Ben is having a good run when he overtook him. Donkey Down probably struggling with some tire temperatures, and Blackmaster and Donkey are fighting for P3 on the grid at the moment. Blackmaster runs a little wide. That will allow Lancy to have a look, but Lancy still sticking his car right behind him, and Lancy focusing on some ERS charging before he wants to make the overtake in probably. So Lancey definitely picking up some pace, as we have predicted. He did a really quick time in the 5-lap sprint qualifying, so he definitely has the pace. Lancey's within 0.3 of a second. Donkey Down has picked up a 3-second time penalty, which is very unfortunate for the end of this race. Of course, with such a close grid. But look at Lancey. He is within 0.3 of a second, but Blackmaster gets the DRS on Donkey as well. And Donkey is losing time compared to Ben, and is now really pushing himself to keep within the DRS of Ben. And look at Lancey. Will he have an overtaking opportunity? And he taps the outside, the back of Blackmaster, but Lancey's on the outside. Will Lancey back off? No, Lancey is still there on the outside. Will he go for a move in the next corner? And Lancey is going to have a look on the outside. Hopefully Lancey didn't pick up any damage from that little tap or at the back of Blackmaster. But Lancey's pace is definitely there. And Plap is losing 1.4 seconds to Donkey. So he lost a small amount of time battling with Lancey. But Lancey, I think Lancey has some problems, which is very unfortunate. He's losing a small amount of his downforce. So will this be the right moment for Lancey to make his pit stop? Because I think he has some damage from that small tap to Plapmaster. So let's see what Lancey will do. Lancey is still continuing on his current stint, so no pit stop for Lancey. His car is feeling good. And he's definitely gaining on Plap. And Donkey is gaining on Ben as well. So a lot of battles ongoing. And look at Famrod and Ticket. Famrod and Ticket are really close as well on the medium, both on medium tires. And Tankade created himself a gap of 1.7 seconds to Ticket. So a lot of battles ongoing on track, and the Williams team is looking very good so far. And we all know that they are the team to beat this season. With Tankade and Donkey Down, one of the quickest drivers here, you can definitely have one of a hell of a challenge to beat them in the constructors. But Famrod is still closing in to Ticket. Ticket has a penalty, so Famrod doesn't need to make an overtake on track if he stays within this gap, but he wants to. And Lancey makes the overtake for P3, so Lancey is in the podium positions, 1.4 seconds away. Well, Famrod has overtook Ticket, and Cristro is passing his teammate as well, so Plapmaster definitely struggling on those tires. So the gaps are starting to get a little bit bigger in the top 5 at least. All out of the DRS range. And oh, Famrod lost it. Famrod is in the grass and losing 3 full positions on those mediums. Very unfortunate for him. He had a good race so far. And in sector 3 we have a Mercedes of Ticket spinning. Oh no! Ticket and Famrod are both spinning. And it's starting to rain. It's starting to rain. Did I see some rain? Yes, it's starting to rain. A really good choice from the medium runners to extend their current stint, because there's some rain incoming. And Donkey is still within those 0.7 of a second to Ben. So Ben, who has drove in Division 1 last season, has started to drive in Division 2 this season. Really going to challenge Donkey Dan for the title. And don't forget Pat de Vol, who's not being able to attend. Pat de Vol is a really strong driver as well, but I think if I may give my predictions for this season, Donkey, Ben and Pat de Vol will be battling for the top spot, with tickets right behind them as well. Tankade is also quick on some tracks, so looking forward to that. Quistro is the first driver to dive into the pits. Which tire is he choosing? And Quistro is already choosing for the Intes. Oh, that's a really early choice to dive out on the Intes. And I'm not sure if that's the right call. He will lose a lot of time. And will... But the rain is falling a little bit more. And Ben is still in the lead. Donkey down in second. Lancey's closing in as well. Lancey has closed the gap to them. So Lancey's definitely aiming for a win today. Lancey has the pace. He is really concentrated. Lancey is really strong around Portimao, as we've seen so far. So will Lancey even get into the championship battle for next season? That will be amazing. He's looking very strong so far. So let's see what Lancey can do today. And still no pit stops from the front three. Ben still leading. Lancey's lights all flashing, so he's saving up some ERS. Platmaster in P4 losing a lot of time. So the race pace of Platmaster needs a bit more improvements if he wants to stick with the top. Tankade in P5. And Plap is in P4 as well. So really unfortunate, but Tankade is really gaining now on Plap on those mediums. So those soft tires are degrading really much now. So the medium tire is the tire to be on now. And sector 1 we have a McLaren spinning, and of course it's Quistro, because you are just not on the right tire. That's a really not a good choice. And we have Donkey down spinning. No, Donkey! The previous... Oh, Donkey. Hopefully he didn't pick up any damage from that. And he will probably be pitting for the Intes right now. No, he's not pitting. He's still staying out. And his teammate is right behind him. And Lancey is now within 0.4 of a second to Ben. So Lancey is really improving lap after lap. The DRS is still being enabled, so no DRS has been disabled. So it's not wet enough for the DRS to be disabled. So Quistro, you have not made a smart choice to dive on the Intes that quick. You're losing a lot of time. But the wet is getting heavier. The rain is getting heavier. But when is the right moment to make a pit stop for those Intes? And Tankade is not improving to Donkey. So Ben and Lancey are fighting for that top spot. And the rain is falling down heavier now. See, you can see it on track. And I don't yeah, the DRS is still being enabled. And Lancey is closing in, but he is not going to be close enough for an overtake. And Donkey has pitted for, oh, really late braking from Lancey, almost tapped the back of Ben. Still DRS. Donkey, will he be pitting for those inters? Yes, he is. He thinks it's the right moment for the inters. So Donkey is gambling. And we're going to keep an eye on his pace compared to Sammy Jansen. And the rain is getting heavier and heavier. So I think it might be a smart choice from Donkey to... But he's losing a lot of time to Sammy, who is already in P5. Which is really nice to see from Sammy. He started at the back and is now in P5. Of course, he didn't make his pit stop, but let's head back to the front runners. Ben and Lancey still continuing on their first stint. No time for a pit stop right now from both of the drivers. They're still continuing on those soft tires, and Lancey is still picking up the DRS. He gets an overtaking opportunity on the inside of Ben. He is braking late and they're going side by side into turn 1, and he pushes Ben a little bit wide. But Lancey has made the move on and moves himself up to P1. What a race from Lancey so far. And Ben is currently in P2, picking up the DRS. Will he get an overtake? No. No overtake from Ben. No switchback overtake from him. So he needs to build his gap now. And the rain is falling down. The rain is really well falling down now. So I think it's time for the inters. And Ben and Lancey are having a battle, struggling with... Oh, Ben! Oh, yes, it's time for inters. The track is getting wet, and now it's time to go for the inters. So they're probably sliding away in those last corners. And look at Tankade, who is 11 seconds behind. And let's see where they will end up. And Ben and Lancey are struggling to get the throttle ready. And Lancey is definitely going into the pits now, and so will Ben. And yes, they're going into the pits. And late braking from both of them. Look at the gap, guys. Amazing. And of course they're switching to the inters, and so is Tankade. DRS has been disabled, and Sammy Jansen on those inters is right at the back of Smetanka. Into P8, so not a bad race from Sammy so far. He moved up a lot of positions. Let's have a look at the position changes at the moment. Sammy won 9 positions already. A little bit of a moment there out of that corner. But he is still sticking with the... Oh, Sammy losing it into the wall, and that's an unfortunate retirement again. And we have a safety car. The safety car has been deployed. And of course it is, because it's in the pit entry. So all the drivers will be closing up now. And Sammy Jansen, for the second time in this pre-season race, he is losing the grip and putting his car into the wall. And this is our first safety car of the race. We're halfway and our first safety car is out. And this will allow every driver to close in now. So the whole grid will be closed up to have some amazing racing again. And let's have a look at the current penalty situations. We have the time for that to not miss any action on track. So let's see, Donkey Down having 3 seconds of penalties, Platmaster 3, Fanbrod having 8 seconds of penalties, Critical Damage having a drive-through penalty. Why would you do that? It's only Kiji having 11 seconds, Swifty Ryan having 19 seconds. So that's a bit too much. And Owen having 3, Ticket having 3, Quina having no penalties, Fakey having 14, Critical Damage having a drive-through and probably a few penalties as well, and Cristro having 8 seconds of penalties, and his choice to go for an early and with overtake. Femrod is in the pits. Femrod is serving his drive-through, and that's serving a 5-second time penalty. A really smart choice from him to do that. So Femrod has served his 5-second time penalty and now is in 3 seconds. A very smart choice from the Alpine driver. So all the drivers are allowed to overtake the safety car, and that was Cristro, who was the last driver who was behind the safety car, and Critical Damage is trying to serve his drive-through, but you cannot serve your drive-through under safety car conditions, Critical Damage. And I know it's his first league race, so hopefully he will learn from this. And he is going into the pit, switching to some fresh inters, and he was hoping that he could serve his drive-through penalty, but that's not allowed under safety car conditions. So he will need to serve it after the safety car has come in. So the current grid is Lancy in P1, Ben in P2, Tankade in P3. Right in front of his teammate, Donkey in P4, Plapmaster in 5, Smetanka in 6. So both Haases have done a really terrific job, not making any mistakes, and that will put them in P6 and 7. It's only Kiji 8, Swifty Ryan in 9, Femrod Pry in P10, Owen in P11, Ticket in 12, Quina in 13, but he has no penalties, so that's good to see from Quina. Fakey in 14, Cristro in 15, Critical Damage in 16. And so far, which driver have given you a surprise today? Let me know that in the comments. If I may give my own opinion, I think one of the surprises for me is Lancy. Lancy is just, his pace is really strong today. Also Plapmaster is a really surprise for me. He was at the back last season and he's now fighting for a possible podium. So that's very, very good to see from Plap. He made some improvements, he practiced himself, and hopefully he can practice even more to challenge for the top spots as well. Some new faces in this division who definitely caught my eye is, to be fair, I don't know, it's Smetanka. He's currently in P6, and so is Felix, but Felix has drove in Division 3 last season, if I'm correct. So he's doing a really good job as well. But we all know that he has Femrod, Owen, Ticket and Quina right behind him, and also Cristro, who has proven himself that he can be really quick. So really looking forward to the restart. And we possibly have another lap behind the safety car after this one. Hopefully this will be the last one, but Cristro and Critical Damage are really far behind. Hopefully Cristro can get himself closer and closer. But we're going to stay on board with Lancy, who is currently leading. And we have to wait till the safety car comes in. And no, we're still going to stick one lap behind the safety car, I think. And no, we are going to race again. So Quistro has like a few tenths of a second to close the gap, and everyone is closed up except from Critical Damage, who has a drive-through penalty. So that's very unfortunate. What's happening to Quistro? Oh, what's happening? Oh, he has damage. Quistro is just... Let's stay at the front. Lancy is going to be able to set the pace. He is weaving and weaving. When will he go? For some 13 laps of racing around the circuit at Portimao, a wet Portimao, and he is going now. A really good restart from Lancy, already picking himself a gap of 8 tenths of a second, and 10k is already closing up to Ben on the inside now, but is he close enough? I don't think so, so he needs to wait. And Ben has lost some time compared to Lancy, but 10k is on the inside though, braking late and going side by side with Ben in turn 3, and going for a move, but Ben keeps his car in front, and that will allow 10k to have a good exit out of that corner. But Swifty Ryan is out of this session, and that's unfortunate. And Lancy's already 1.8 seconds up to Ben, so Lancy has made an amazing restart, and Lancy's really showing his pace today. Really great job from him. It's in the dry and also in the wets, and Donkey is right behind his teammate as well. And another safety car has been deployed, so the second safety car of this race, and that's very unfortunate because Lancy has created himself a really big gap. So the second safety car of this race. And still no drive-through able to serve for Critical Damage. And Critical Damage is... Why are you not serving that drive-through after that safety car? After the first one. And Plapmaster has lost it and is retired from the session. Why Plap? Is Plap in the pits? I think he is. He retired in the pits. So we have 3 DNFs so far, and with 9 laps remaining after this one, we will have a small qualifying small race again. And let's see, 5-second time penalty for Felix colliding with his teammate. Oh man, that's unfortunate. And hopefully the safety car will be going in as quick as possible, but I don't think it will, because it's only KG, Quistro and Quina are not at the back yet. Second safety car of the race, and safety car is going for another lap. And oh, it's 10k who's losing it under safety car conditions. Oh, drivers are making mistakes in these rainy conditions. And another one, Felix is in the pits, and so is his teammate, so there will be double stacking. Oh, I'm not sure why they're doing that, but will it be a front wing change for? Yes, it will. And Felix will probably be his. Oh, a double stack. Oh, this is going to take very long. But he will be probably serving his 5-second time penalty. And also a front wing change. Hopefully he will be able to close in time for the restart. And critical damage still has a drive-through penalty to serve. And Lancy has no penalty, so haven't Ben. And right behind them we have drivers with penalties. So it's going to be a battle as it stands for Ben and Lancy for that P1 spot. And Donkey, Famrod are really struggling. It's only and Tankate is getting overtaken by It's Only KG, but not for long. And Felix still needs to close up. 14 seconds, 17 seconds. Hopefully he can close in time, but we have another lap behind the safety car. Come on guys, keep your car on track for the last couple of laps, so we can actually see some racing. And It's Only KG is losing it. It's Only KG is in the wall. No! Wow, that was really dangerous. It's Only KG is losing his car on the main straight. Hopefully his car will be removed as quick as possible, because the safety car will probably be going in this lap. I'm not sure how your car will lose it there. But let's see. We're following Quina, the current leader of this race. Really strong race from him so far. Can he grab that P1 in this race? And the grid has closed up, so we can go racing after this lap. So I think they will be preparing to warm up their tires to have a good chance of a really good restart. Really important to warm up your tires at the right degrees, especially in the rain conditions. And yes, the safety car is in this lap, so Lancy will be again setting the pace with only 13 drivers left on the grid. We are going for the last 9 laps of this race. 8 laps. Lancy will be again setting the pace, weaving and weaving, warming up his tires. When will we go? Will we go at the same spot? He did go here last time, and he's going again at that time. And what a great restart again. And Ben is sleeping again, and Donkey is already on the inside now to Ben. So Donkey is going for a move on Ben, and he is switching for on the inside, but he is backing off, so he needs to wait for an overtake. Donkey runs a little wide, and Quistro getting the move done on Fakey, but he is on 13 seconds of penalties. And Ticket and Tankate having a battle on track as well. Ticket runs wide a little bit, Tankate pushes him, but it was just hard racing, and Tankate is closing up, but Ticket has a really good exit, and Ticket is having some overspeed in the rain, but can he manage himself to get past Tankade in this lap? And Ben is already losing positions, and we have an Haas spinning. One of the Haas's, Felix, has spun and is now into the grass. And sector 2, and of course he retired on the track. Come on. Wow, how long are you racing with us, and how long do you know that that's not allowed? I'm sorry. But let's head back to Ticket, who is going to close in on Tankade, but he's 6 tenths away, so that's not close enough. Ticket in the Mercedes, shown some great pace last season. Currently sitting in P6, but not good enough for a podium position today. So the grid is getting really strong. And Ticket is losing some time. Let's have a look. Fakey is right at the back of Cristro. Three tenths away, but he has 9 seconds of penalties, so he doesn't need to get past. And Quina is right behind as well. Quina having no penalties, which can absolutely promote him from P10 to P6 at least. If it stays like this. And Ben is out of the 1 second gap from Lancy, so Lancy is definitely having a really good overspeed on the wet track, and Ben is having struggles. So this will allow for Donkey to close in on him, but we all know that Donkey has a 3-second time penalty, so he needs to create himself a gap of 3 seconds, and that's really a hard task for him. Even in the wet condition, this grid is so close. That's really impressive from the division makers. They've done a really good job to arrange this division, because it's really close. The whole race it has been close, and even in different conditions. So big dubs to them. And Quina is within 3 tenths of a second to Owen, and we have a really good battle. And Owen is losing it into the gravel. And Quina on the inside, taking a double move on the inside now from Fakey. Quina in the Red Bull is going to have a look on the outside now, going side by side. And Fakey pushes him a little bit wide, but Quina has a really good exit out of that corner. And look at Quina, the overspeed of Quina has been insane. That race craft from Quina was good to see, overtaking 2 people, Owen making a mistake, but Quina needs to watch out because he is getting under pressure from Fakey again. But Quina is defending the inside, and he moves himself up to P8. So Quina is driving as he has supposed to be. Good job from Quina, but he has a moment, and that will allow Fakey to go for the cutback on the outside and brakes later. A little bit of contact being made by Quina, but Fakey has made the move again, and that will allow Fakey to take a position, but he has 9 seconds of penalties. So Quina doesn't need to take too many risks there. And Ticket is right behind 10k as well. Ticket is picking up some pace here. And we have an Alpine spinning. It's probably Owen. Oh, Ticket has a big moment of oversteer. And that will allow him to not be close enough for an overtaking opportunity in turn 1. And Donkey as well is getting closer, but Ticket is really, and Ticket picks up another time penalty, 9 seconds now. So this will not help him. And Ticket has a really good exit there on tank 8. But he's not being able to close in because tank 8 will be faster in this sector too. And Ticket another big moment of oversteer. But he still gains time on tank 8. So will there be an opportunity for Ticket to make a move at least on track? Runs right again. So Ticket is pushing his car all to the limits, and Owen has spun around. He retired in the pits, so no spun from him. And Ticket is still within 0.5 of a second to tank 8. And Lancy is definitely going to grab this win as it stands. His pace compared to Ben is a few tenths, so hopefully there won't be any problems with the Alpine rejoining on track. Let's have a look. And the Alpine rejoining on track with Owen. Owen, why are you retiring in the pits? Come on. And Quistro has picked up another 3-second time penalty, and that puts him on 16 seconds. And this Alpine of Owen is still on track. This is going to cause any issues, I think. But Lancy, the leader of this race, heading almost into lap 32 of 33, so 2 laps to go for him. And he is definitely drove the race of his life. What a race from him. I know he was fast, but this was really fast. And look at Ben and Donkey going for a battle for P2 on track. And Donkey, is he close enough? I don't think he is. No DRS has been enabled, so no overtake is done by Donkey. But he is definitely putting the pressure on Ben. And we have seen some amazing battles between Ben, Donkey and Lancy on this track today. So will this be a good taste for the start of this season, which is going to be driven at the circuit of Saudi Arabia, where we're racing at Jeddah next week, where the season kickoff will be, and there will be no sprint qualifying there. So we will only drive with a short quali and a 50% race. We only have 3 sprint qualifyings on the calendar. I'm not sure which tracks, but it's good to have a mix of usual formats and the sprint quali formats. So, but Lance is losing a small amount of pace to Ben now, but going into the last lap. So we're going to stick on board with the last lap of the current leader of this race, who drove a phenomenal race, to be fair. Really strong drive from the Red Bull driver. Is he able to maintain this speed into the season next week, where we'll be racing at Jeddah? because unfortunately for him, he was the quickest today on this circuit, but with such a close grid, we can have a winner on each track, a different winner on each track this season. If a circuit lays on a driver, I think everyone, at least 7 drivers can win in this division. So Lancey heading into the final corners, and he is going to get this win at the Portimao circuit. He's driving an excellent race, and he is going to drive to get this win in the pre-season race at Portimao. Going to cross the line, Lancey taking the win at Portimao. Ben into second, Donkey in third, Femrod and Tankade picking up P4, Femrod in P5, Ticket in P6, but Quina will be promoted to P6 and Smetanka in 7, Ticket in 8, Fakey in 9, Quistro in 10 and Critical Damage in P11. On his debut, still needs to learn a lot, but at least this is a driver who didn't retire in the pits, and that's something we should mention as well. He is taking every practice he can get. So I'm really giving my compliments to this driver as well. Critical Damage on his debut, finishing in P11. So this was our first race of the season, and what a good taste for the rest of the season. We have seen amazing battles on track throughout the whole race, and what a race. Lancey taking the win, making some nice moves on the podium, some boxing moves. Good job by Lancey, really strong race, definitely the driver of the day, but also a strong race by his teammate Quina, moving himself a lot of positions, finishing in P6. Of course the safety cars helped, but really good job from the Red Bull team today. Really strong team to have a look at. So finishing order: Lancey, Ben, Donkey, Tankade, Femrod, Quina, Smetanka, Ticket, Fakey, Quistro, Critical Damage, and Owen, It's Only Kiji, Plapmaster, Swifty Ryan, Sammy Jansen and Felix haven't not finished this race. So thank you for all watching, and hopefully I will see you next week where the season kickoff will be at Jeddah. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.